The Blatnik Bridge reconstruction project is set to begin as soon as 2026, bringing both challenges and new opportunities to Superior businesses.
In Northern News Now's Isabella Zandra spent the day talking with some of these firms and what their plans are for when the old bridge permanently closes during the work.
People rely on crossing the Blatnik Bridge every day for their commute, but for Encore Event and Party Express, it's a vital transportation connection for a variety of cargo.
Yeah, we do a little bit of everything, tables, chairs, bounce houses.
Tyler Lundy and his father Tracy run the Superior-based company, shipping and hauling different party equipments across the Twin Ports. As the Blatnik project gets closer, they had to think about customers on the Minnesota side.
We're going to stay in Superior, however, we are secured a location in Duluth.
They hope this new additional location will not only bring easy shipping and pickup for their Minnesota customers, but continue to grow their business. Tyler and Tracy are thankful they had a plan, but some other businesses might not yet.
The bridge will be closed from 4 to 5 years, so naturally there's hesitation and caution. And
Taylor Peterson is the president at the Superior Area Chambers and said businesses on both sides of the bridge have concerns about the closure.
Both states have some really nice resources for businesses to help them come up with a plan and to design communication strategies and marketing.
It's not their fault. It's not anyone's fault that the bridge is closing. It's just one of the things that happens, and it's part of being in business. You got to make these adjustments.
Peterson encourages businesses to educate themselves on these resources sooner than later, saying it's never too early to start a plan. In Superior, Isabella Zadra, Northern News Now.
Isabella, thank you. Now, both Minnesota and Wisconsin Department of Transportation have compiled a website featuring some of those resources that Peterson talked about and how businesses can power through the next few years of construction. You can find all of that right now on our website at northernnewsnow.com.